Introduction. The ongoing eruption of warfare in Sudan's Darfur region has raised alarm bells around the world, with concerns that it will transform into a full-scale military conflict. The United Nations is increasingly alarmed at the use of heavy weaponry and attacks on civilians, with many feeling the reverberations of the conflict reaching even beyond Darfur. In this video, we'll discuss what's causing this unrest in Darfur, how it will affect the region and potentially beyond, and speak to locals and United Nations representatives to understand what's really at stake. Scene 1. It all started in early April when two rival generals clashed, sparking 3 weeks of chaos in both Khartoum and Omdurman. Witnesses report hearing bombs dropping in the Sudanese capital, and photographs show the Sudanese central bank burning. Sudan's police have deployed Central Reserve Forces to restore order, but this group is also under U.S. sanctions due to its human rights abuses. Scene 2. As media goes dark around Darfur, reports have emerged that the region is facing widespread destruction. The United Nations Refugee Agency warns of the consequences to the region's fragile social fabric, and evidence suggests the use of heavy weaponry by both the Sudanese Armed Forces and the Sudanese Rapid Support Forces. Scene 3. In West Darfur, a video message from Gen Abdel Rahman Juma of the RSF warned that the organization was winning on the ground, citing their commander, Gen Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, as the strong man whom Sudan needed. Unfortunately, this has had the impact of stifling efforts to create a peaceful accord. Scene 4. Evidence of destruction and violence mounts in West Darfur. Markets, hospitals, and public buildings have been reduced to rubble, and reports suggest that up to 250 people have been killed. It's an increasingly desperate situation. Many locals are holed up in their homes to keep safe, with some saying that they would rather die of hunger than get hit by a bullet in the street. Scene 5. As of now, 20,000 refugees have fled West Darfur, crossing into Chad, and many more are forecast to do the same in the coming days. Everyone from community leaders to international human rights organizations are calling for a de-escalation of the violence and for the preservation of the region's civilians, infrastructure, and resources. Scene 6. All too familiar in Darfur is the role that former dictator Omar al-Bashir has in the conflict. Al-Bashir maintained his rule through the use of paramilitary forces, and many say that these oppressive military tactics are far too reminiscent of years past. Scene 7. As the conflict rages on, the United Nations has continued to call on all sides of the conflict to reach a peaceful agreement and to respect the obligation to protect civilians. Entire communities are living in fear, risking their lives just to secure the essentials they need to survive. Until the violence is de-escalated and those responsible